Hello? I'm late. Oh no. Give me a second. Oh no, it's lagging. Why are you lagging? I don't want lag. Hey, now we ready. Hello. Number one NRC boy biter is in the house. You were successful, I see. Coloring. I've been determined to give all my characters new outfits and stuff. So I'm just gonna work on that. I don't want the music too loud. I just found something. Anyways, here's my important boy. Main character energy. We're almost matching. Sheet is old, outdated. I don't like how it looks. That's why I'm redrawing everything. We're not going to pay attention to the old reference sheet because it looks ugly. At least to my standards. Currently. But it has the colors that I need, so. His name is Chi, and he is main character energy. Because he's main character. That is the plans I have. That's what I have planned for him. He's the main character. It's a very simple color scheme going on. It also hasn't changed much since I remember. So I'm a bit malleus today as well, and he's been noticing that I've been biting a lot of them. And he asked me if there was some kind of strange human ritual that I didn't tell him about. I love blue. Yay! Blue is a good color. I just put red. But blue color palettes, peak. Red color palettes, also peak. I love both. Although I have one too many characters with some sort of red color palette going on, and it's kind of funny. Like, why do I have like 3 different characters with like red color schemes going on? It's so funny, but then I have like 2 with blue. It's so funny. That's not what that was supposed to be. That was, you know. Coloring the pants. Also, the style here has barely changed since 2012, I believe. My brain has been cooking since I was in middle school. Kind of cringe. But it's cringe to work with and make better. What Malia said, I just reached out my hand and said, join our club of fans. Let's go bite people. I'm sure they taste delicious. Yellow the belts. You can't have a cool anime character without some belts, you know? Pointless belts. They're a fashion statement. The peak of fashion right here. Yeah, that's about all for the pants, except like here. I also need to give him a weapon. He a sword fighter, with main character energy. Every RPG main character should have a sword for a weapon, am I right? Anime and manga creators trying not to give their cool MC belt. I can't do it! Jotaro Kujo and his belt. Or Final Fantasy characters and Kingdom Hearts characters with their multiple belts and zippers. Peak fashion design. I'm very lazy about the shoes. They already have belts on them. They're gonna be very shiny. I guess Bash the Stampede also has a lot of belts in the original design. If you can call it belts. I think it's more like leather straps. So, like his whole arm is like wrapped up. I'm guilty of this too. One of my guy characters doesn't wear a proper shirt. Just black fitting turtleneck with big belt on top. Sometimes all you need is a belt to get interesting character designs. Or a cool jacket. What do I need? Inside check. I am a believer in the rule of cool. Not everything needs to make a lot of sense, it just needs to look cool. It just needs to feel like it makes sense, even if it doesn't. Also, that same guy ties his hair in a pony. Not a hair tie, just a small belt. Fascinating. Realistically, how much hair would you need to have for that to work? For that to work. I don't think it would work with my type of hair. I don't have a lot to begin with. Because I got a haircut. Belts on his hands and legs like bracelets and a belt on his neck, though I do suppose that's just a choker. Yeah. Or collar, technically. Although that just sounds weird to say. Most fun fact, I have not changed this dude's hairstyle since I... Broomstick hair. More Vash inspired in terms of getting it to look more cohesive, I guess. Because like back when I did design the character, I hadn't really seen anything with this. But then it's like, oh, found more broomstick hair looking characters. They make it work. I can make it work. No, actually, I think I'm lying. Shaman King also kind of has hair like this, but like... His hair. You wanna know, bro is like Rapunzel, but his hair is only down to his knees. The sheer volume of it is insane. That's awesome. What are they doing? I think this is... I'm not gonna do any lighting and shading things, I'm just gonna make all the outfits. And this one's gonna be easy because, it's just the same thing with Nick. I am a genius. I'm big boy. Half my work already done. I just need to make it look cleaner. Yeah, the main characters don't have that many interesting costumes going on, sadly. Well, that's because their outfits were more like story purpose based, whereas like the demon, angel, summonable characters were more like, fun outfits. And one human outfit for each one. They need a disguise. There remember one of my more sophisticated characters trying to clean him up and make him a bit more presentable, but they kept getting mad at how the hair ties kept snapping, and it was hard to hold with both hands. No, that's some strong hair. I like that. What happened to your nails, sir? Why do your nails look like that? Why do they look like that? And why was I, like, noticing it? Also, the extra belts are removed in this outfit, just to make it look a little bit different. Except for the one. That one looks cool. Like 1/3 of his hair fills one of your hands. That's a lot of hair. That's a lot. I was thinking of putting something on the shirt, but I don't know. I mean, in the past, I had like a design on the shirt, but it was like, it didn't look that cool. So I got rid of it, but like, I kind of want to put something on the shirt. I just don't know what. Give him a blue jewel on his stomach. He's not that fancy. He's not that fancy of a guy, unfortunately. I need to double check that I colored everything. Perfection. I also gave him another hairstyle. His hair is unstyled. I'm kind of going for like private school look. But I don't know what colors to use other than like black and gray or whatever, but like that's gonna be boring. Yeah, that was always a part of his design too, is that his hair is just so over the top styled. Naturally, it's just a mess of waves. He just likes cool. I have the urge to give ugly green pants. But this is supposed to be like a school uniform private academy look or something. But clearly improperly worn. Also the guy with the big hair, his name is Zaire. It's kind of feral. Nice. I think I already introduced my boy here. His name is Mitchie. As far as like full names go, I'm not giving him one. Or at least a consistent one. Because I don't know. What is happening? Okay. That was weird. It didn't want to work. But the reason is Bro was locked away in cages a lot, and now he is out. The belts are meant to be like less than metal change, but still restraining. Oh. That's interesting. I realized I forgot to give the shoes laces. I've developed a uniquely lazy way of giving characters shoelaces. That way I don't have to put much thought into it. Give them black laces. It's fine. Gotta remember how many of these clips I've had. Like, if I wanted to, I could clean it up a little and just erase some of the insides, make it different colored laces, but I don't feel like it. He's getting the black shoelaces and he's gonna like it. I have the inexplicable urge to put people in my stories. Like, I meet somehow really, really awesome and nice, and I'm like, I gotta make them a little representative character and put them in my story. Well, that's definitely one way to make characters. Sometimes real people are just so interesting. Like, you know what? You're worthy of being. You're worthy of having a character inspired by you. No, I did not want that. I wanted to bring that down. There we go. But the question is, how do I color this? Kind of strange to put real people in your stories, but usually I make the characters different enough so you wouldn't know it was based on a real person. Yeah, that's actually how a lot of characters are created, actually. It's a very normal process, actually. When you, like, look behind the scenes and how, like, some Disney movies or, like, other animated movies are made, when it comes to some of the characters, it's like, oh, I'm low-key inspired by this person, or this celebrity, or this random family member of mine. Or this one time I met an old lady and she was, like, the sweetest person I've ever met. I think that was something that was inspiring for Flora in Sleeping Beauty. One of the character designers was kind of talking about, either it was the voice actress, I think it was the voice actress for it, was talking about, like, there's this sweet lady that I met once in my life and I was kind of like channeling that energy for this character. I'm probably remembering it wrong because I haven't seen the documentary in a while, but like that's usually how characters are made. Also, I know boundaries before I do it. I'll ask, and if I see them again, I'll always ask, are you okay with this? Do you want to change anything? Does this make you uncomfortable? Yeah, I feel like that's more of the approach if you're just gonna straight up put somebody you know into something. Rather than being like, oh, this person's mannerisms. I'm gonna implement that into a character. But this character is nothing like the actual person. Or like if you're making a character look exactly like somebody that you know. Although, like, when it comes to, like, celebrities, people just kind of do whatever. It's like, as long as they make it obvious that it's, like, a parody or, like, an homage or something. I don't know. Character creation is interesting. And storytelling in general. I guess I'm committing with the ugly green pants. But we'll see. I might change things up more. Sometimes it takes me a while to settle upon a color palette. Unless it's anything to do with a red color scheme, I know what I'm doing. Everything else is like, how do I make this work? I might have mentioned Mitsuki as my old soda, but she looks nothing like me. She looks like an anime character, duh, and she has an unnamed cousin based on my cousin. Ooh. A lot of my character design process is just, I think this is cool. Sort of. I will say the main character energy here is kind of like a little bit me, but more like the energy that I want to have, of just being like chaotic, unashamed of anything. Definitely a much more energetic person. I am not a very energetic person in real life. Energized all the time. I get tired out easily with people. But the character based on my cousin doesn't necessarily look or behave exactly like my cousin. The Sonas are like the perfect dream versions. Yeah, that's usually how character design goes. Because nothing you make in fiction is supposed to be one-to-one with reality. If only more people understood that concept, we wouldn't have so many stupid people in the world now, would we? Like, my cousin likes making songs and is really into music, so I made her a famous idol who makes her own rules and isn't controlled by an agency in particular. A truly independent creator. Beautiful. Now for the jacket. I don't know. And the shoes. Oh my goodness. I don't want to forget the shoes. Might just make them... I don't know. I gave them black laces. Black Converse or something. I don't know. They are based on what we wanted to look like as kids if we were fictional characters. I wanted purple hair and green eyes, and my cousin wanted gray. I don't think I should mention it. That's kind of like the thought process I had when making my VTuber avatar. Like, I look nothing like this. I just think red hair and green eyes is cool. Green! Giving him the old black Converse treatment, I guess. Or just dark gray. I kind of make the black part a little bit too light. But then again, it should... I'm rambling. And I'm thinking tomorrow I'll just have like a presentation of like random anime recommendations, I guess. Or more like random manga that I used to read. Be like, hey, you should give it a shot if you haven't read it. It's fun. Who says they can't wear my Converse with my dress? Peak 2000s era emo fashion. I love it. Or just peak 2000s quirky girl fashion. More like late 2000s, I guess. But I feel like that was more common. I don't know. I'm just yapping again. But the 2000s had an interesting style going on, and I feel like I want it back. I want wacky combos like that again. Have you seen anything about Kaito Joker? I did a little quick research on it, actually, yes, and I had no idea it existed. And I'm also always surprised when I remember, oh yeah, Disney Channel sometimes airs anime dubs. But it's usually in other countries. I forget that they do that. Ew, no, I don't want that card. I miss the pastel space style cute era. Yes. Mini shirts over jeans was also a thing. I miss that, even though it sounds ridiculous, but like, it's a vibe. It's a fashion statement. And sequins. Sequins is a vibe. It's like glitter, but less annoying. Because the glitter won't come off, it's just shiny plastic. The only thing you have to worry about is the shiny plastic falling off and getting bent. There's all kinds of Joker in all of the Beyblade bursts on Disney XD, and it was in English, girly. Yeah, I know, I forget that they... I do remember seeing stuff about Beyblade on Disney XD before. And like, they did do some Studio Ghibli English dubs before. It's like, I don't know why I keep forgetting that they've done this before. And I don't know why people keep getting all like, oh, Disney shouldn't be into anime, but it's like, they've been doing it for a while. It's not that surprising. Again, I remember vividly when like Ponyo announced they were doing the English voices for Ponyo in the US. And Arrietty. Well, the American voices. Because I do remember seeing Arrietty with a British voice dub. But I just remember the advertisements on Disney Channel where they're like, these Disney Channel actors are voice acting in Arrietty or Ponyo. Like, I remember that era vividly. But I think Disney Channel ended up taking over, well, Disney XD ended up taking over Pokemon dubs at some point, but I remember seeing them mostly on Cartoon Network. I remember I had interesting feelings for this blonde artist dude in Kaito Joker. Hopefully I'll be able to find it and watch it, because it seems like it should be easier to find. I'm committing to the ugly pants, but I might change the shoes later. And then this... I don't know what my brain was doing here, but I still needed to work on this one. Needs more belt details. I was kind of lazy last night. Like, bro was kind of dramatic, and while I loved art, I was like, who does this guy think he is? I felt weirdly jealous. Baby me had an ego. Who is this dude? I guess this is a more fashion-inspired outfit, now that I'm looking at it. All the straps on the boots. And long boots. I also remembered I wanted to make these like platform shoes or something, but like I need to add that later. I need to make sure the height is consistent. So for now, his shoes are kind of just flat. Bro, I just saw the purple-haired guy named Lupin in Kaito Joker Discord GIF, and I was like, who did? I never saw that. Interesting. Turns out this show had 4 seasons, then stopped. I thought it only had 1 and disappeared because I never saw it again. Oh no! I hate when that happens. No, I'm just gonna cover this all in one color here. Work on the darker areas that are gonna be shiny. I also remember the characters looking less chibi and short though. Studio change, art style change. I think American Dragon will always be remembered for that drastic art style shift from season 1 to season 2. That was horrible. I still remember that too, because I used to watch. Who is that? I don't understand what's happening anymore. Why do they look like that? What have you done to my boy? Why'd you turn him into a limp noodle? I've never fully recovered. Actually, like a height chart later. Like I have a very old height chart for my characters. I already showed who the tallest and the smallest were in the lineup anyway. And I kind of want to update it. No, you see, there's this thing where sometimes if you watch animes as a kid, you might think, these proportions look normal than most cartoons. But only as you grow, you see it differently. I think. Like, as a kid, proportions are realistic because most other cartoons are less realistic. I've ever thought that way. I understand what you mean. Like it looks more like polished or something when you're a kid, but then you actually look back on it and you're like, a little sloppy. I feel like the best way to describe that is like with like 3D animation or something. Like looking back at a movie from like the 90s that had like 3D animation in it. Back then, when you first watched it, it looked amazing, but then you watch it again and you're kind of like, that looks a little funky now. Like when I was younger and I watched it, I thought the Cape of Wonders looked really cool. But then I watched it again when I'm older and I was like, it looks a little wonky and out of place in there, but it still looks cool. Only now that I realize how big of a head these characters really had, your memory gets foggy. Yeah, I feel like I've only ever felt that way about like anything that was 3D animated, not really 2D animated. Like with 3D animated, it's like, wow, it looks so amazing, it looks so good. Then it's like 3D technology has advanced so much, you look back on it and you're like, wow, that does not look good. But like, you can't fully hate it, because it's still fun. I found the blonde artist guy. His name is Viridian. Look him up after the stream. You'll see who I'm talking about. Oh. No, I can do it. I can do it right now. Just real quick, just to see what you're talking about. I have the power. And it didn't want to finish the name. Ooh. Well, that's a cute design. He looks smug and annoying. I like him. Like a smug and annoying blonde. But yeah, I also like stuff that I used to watch growing up. I remember watching Winx Club every once in a while. That was like one of the cartoons I'd watch like in the morning. Barely watched it because I had to go places in the morning, but like it was on and I liked it. And I feel so bad for Winx fans, man. They'll never get a good reboot. Every time they try to reboot it, it just gets worse and worse, and it's like, what is wrong with you people? How did you fall so far? It's such a good concept. Yeah, I hated that smug-looking guy in his hat. About feeling like something is ahead of its time and not understanding that much about art as a kid that makes you misremember these things. Yeah, probably. I feel like it's easier to notice that with 3D art though. Because back in like the 90s it was not as seen as like the stuff we have now. Same thing with like old video games from like the 90s too. With like low poly 3D models and all that stuff. Or like how 90s games don't hit the same when they're remade. I feel like that's usually how people describe like some Silent Hill, Resident Evil stuff. Like it just doesn't hit the same when you remake it and like everything's more visible and clear and easy to read. Or like in the 90s when it was all pixelated and hard to read, it made it scarier. Ooh. Oh no, things are falling. No! I remember when I hated Viridian more because I had a girl character who looked like him but somehow more masculine. That's kind of funny. I had the character before seeing him! I know that feeling. It's always awkward. I'm gonna set the right color. Don't want to go with reds in this or not is the question. Red or not to red? That is the question. Also, Viridian is French, I think, because he appears in the episode where Joker is trying to steal the painting of Napoleon on a horse, and they were in the French museum place. Ah, the Louvre. And Viridian might have said something in French and sounded French, I think. He's a Frenchman. Another one for the blonde anime Frenchman. Whether they're French or not is author's choice. I want to make the jacket a little bit darker than the inside lighter. I think that's what I want to do. I might make that a little bit bigger. Let burn it. I like what I am cooking. Guys, why are French characters in anime sassy, super chic, and classy, or dramatic and intriguing? I know why Japan likes France and vice versa. That is shown in anime, but why do they always act same? Not exactly the same, but same, you know what I mean? I believe that's what you call a character trope. Because usually when I think of blonde anime French man, I think of but he fits that character personality so to a T. It's so funny. I love him. I also think of I think his name was Aoyama or something from My Hero Academia, the dude with the laser belly button. Like, he also kind of falls into that character trope as well. Rook kind of falls into that character trope. The artsy people are usually falling into that character trope. It's funny. French people are not. Yeah. I think in general it's more like but I feel like it just gets lumped a lot more with like a French character because French has, you know, the Louvre and art and fancy people a lot, so I get it. Because again, like, not every character I'm thinking of in that trope is supposed to be French, but I'm gonna make this white. I feel like this is exactly what this is. What happened here? Oh no. Also, my blonde artist girl, who was somehow more masculine than Viridian, was German, but lives in France since 7 because work, so I'm not really French, but eh. Who's like either French or has been to France. Like, I feel like Hope is also similar in some other stuff that I've seen before. Like, I don't know, just but it's all about how you play with it, in my opinion. Oh no, my background music. Oh no, the silence. Oh no, whatever. I'm almost done anyway. I didn't know how I gave my characters nationalities. I kind of just thought, what other country is there that I know? And blindly picked one even if it didn't matter much. Yeah, that's how all my OCs kind of are too, actually. At least some of them. Some of them are not even human, so I don't really care about what nationality they would potentially look like. It's the human ones that kind of just have random nationalities. I mean, technically they're all American. In some way, shape, or form. The silence! It's deafening. Ah. Ah. Hold on. Maybe music. Maybe something quick. Hopefully it doesn't, like, copyright or whatever, but, like, I'm just in the mood. I want the one with no words. I'm just in a mood. I hope this does not get copyrighted. Even if it, I don't know, I don't think it's getting picked up. Like, I'm in a mood. As long as it's not silent on my end. I realized how young me was making peak character ideas. I just didn't do all that with them. Besides silly bits. Yo, mood. Like, I could definitely recycle these guys and make characters that are even cooler than the initial concept. That's what I've been doing. I might get rid of red pants. Now that I'm looking at this. Man, this color scheme is very just monochromatic. But it suits him. Not me joining a Yap stream only to yap about my own OCs to a YouTuber who probably will never see the art of them because I never post it. That's okay. Hey. Later. Actually, I was finishing up anyway. Yeah, tomorrow is I'm recommending manga from my childhood. I should work on that. In the meantime, adios. As we close off, yeah. Bye-bye!